salesman, you can sell anything. Woo! How many of y'all are introverts and you just rather provide the product or service? Okay. One thing I always say is if you don't like to sell, you don't like to eat.
That's right.
Right? So we're going to talk to you today about how to create value-based selling, which is not making you feel like a used car salesman, okay?
To sell without being salesy.
Exactly.
So I think it's important for you to know who's sewing into you, what qualifies them to be able to teach you. So we have both been entrepreneurs for over 25 years, and we've known each other for 10 years plus. And when my company was awarded a sole source contract with Delta Airlines, which is to basically build their supplier development academy, I could only think of one person that I wanted to partner with. And what we have to realize is, you're great, but you can be greater if you learn to partner and collaborate. It's enough money out here for everybody, right? So I called up my best business partner and I said, look, I want you to spearhead this assignment that we've been given by Delta Airlines, and I want to say that she has done an amazing job. So, sales is intimidating when you think that, there's a process and everything that we do as entrepreneurs. So imagine if you could just be a little bit more confident in your sales, and a lot of that has to do with your messaging and your ability to tell the story. And just because someone says no, it is not the end all. A lot of times we know that no is simply a request for more information. And then making sure that your message brings the right client. How many times have you started your business, you're putting the message out there, you're marketing, you're putting your stuff on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, but you keep getting broke clients. You keep getting people who cannot afford to pay what your services or your products are worth. Well, it's because your messaging is not attracting your ideal client. And so we're going to talk about really how to negotiate, because what we know about companies, whether they're Fortune 50, Fortune 100, is they all want the cheapest price. But we also know that even though there's FedEx and there's UPS, UPS says you're going to buy from us because we're quality, and no matter what the media may say. They don't boast price, they boast quality. Next slide.
And one thing we always like to say is no simply means next opportunity. So let me hear you say no simply means next opportunity.
Next opportunity.
It is one step closer for you to get to a yes. So we're going to walk you through our closed sales method. C is for classic sales psychology. L is for leverage sales cycle. O is for optimized customer journey. S is for supply chain management, and E is for engagement and customer care. And one thing that is so important is oftentimes as small businesses, we're just trying to close the deal. We're not thinking about how am I going to fulfill it, how am I going to offer value, and how am I going to give amazing customer self-care. So today we're going to talk to you about the whole close cycle. All of these slides are available in the VE app, so you can actually download the presentation. Next slide. So let's start off with the classic sales psychology. How many of you guys know that there is psychology in sales? There's psychology to the color of your branding that's going to have somebody to be ready to take action. If you're using the color red, that's really kind of going to encourage and motivate them. If you're using the color blue, it's kind of a little bit more calming. So there is complete psychology in every step of sales. So there are about 10 different sales psychology, but for the purpose of time, we're just going to go over 4. The very first one is you have to understand the prospect's buying stage. How many of you guys have wasted time working with potential clients day after day, week after week, month after month, and the sale never closed? Right? That simply means that you were not qualifying them. So in the prospect's buying stage, you have to say, is this potential client, are they a fan, a window shopper, or a primed and ready client? So a fan is simply somebody, they're going to follow you on your social media channels, they're going to see you, they're going to like you, but they are never going to buy from you. Do y'all have people like that?
Yeah.
Then you have somebody that's a window shopper. They like you, they develop a little bit of trust in you, they're gonna sign up for a free consultation, they may do a free download if you offer it, and what they simply want is just more time to spend with you to get to know you. So those clients you wanna continue to offer value to, and you wanna place them in your sales funnel. And then you have the primed and ready client. That simply means that you just have to identify what their problem is, and then you need to solve it. They already know that they need your service. They already know that they're ready to work with you. You just have to say something that is going to emotionally connect with them so that they'll pull the trigger and buy. Number 3 is you have to understand the personality type of the person that you're selling to, because everybody does not have the same type of personality, and you're not going to be able to close the sale with them the same way. So if you have somebody that's very assertive, they're a go-getter, they're kind of take charge, they're a bottom line person. They want to know, how much is it going to cost me? What is the benefits? How is this going to make my life easier? That kind of person, you got to get to the bottom line. Then you have the person that's friendly, very sociable. They want to get to know you, your mama, your dog, build a relationship. So it's going to take time for you to cultivate a relationship with them. So you cannot take an aggressive approach with them. You have to build a relationship. Then you have the philanthropic person. They want to know, how does this benefit me? How does this benefit my team? How are we going to all work together? So for them, they need to know that what you're doing is going to be a benefit to their entire team. And then finally, you have the analytical person. They need to know 1 + 1 = 2, A + B = C, and so everything has to make logical order. They want to know, who have you worked with before? What are your testimonies? What are your proven case studies? What are your success stories? So when you understand the personality type of your potential client, then that lets you know how you need to sell to them. Make sense? Make sense? Yeah. Okay. And then the last one is a common bond. You want to establish a win-win relationship. You know how if you go in to buy a car and you have a car salesman and they're trying to get you to buy the car because they need to make their quota? You can feel that, right? Yes. Right. So you don't want to be that kind of person. You need to say, I am here as your strategic advisor. I am here to identify what your needs are, what problems you need to have solved, and my job is to solve that for you. It's not about the money, because if you're solving the need, if you're serving, you're going to make money. So you have to establish a win-win partnership. You also have to learn the art of negotiation, and Felicia is a negotiation queen, right? And that simply means that I've got to understand this dance, I've got to understand this give and take of what is it that you need, what is it that I need, and where can we meet in the middle? Because when you work with a client, you're going to have to overcome their objectives, and you're going to have to let them know that I care about you, and at the end of the day, I'm here to serve you. Next slide.
All right. So get your pens and paper out. Get ready to take notes. We're going to go through the sales cycle, but I want to end from what Renee said on the psychology piece. Listen. The most important thing you can do when engaging a potential customer is to listen to them. If you're meeting them in their office, take a moment, look around the office, see if they have pictures, what have they received accolades in. Find something that allows them to release their guard and begin to bond with you, that relaxes them. Because the more you allow them to talk, the more you will learn how to serve them. And if you go in with a mentality of serving first, you will win. Some of the best contracts that I've had have come from me serving first. So I may go in and just show them what they need, why they need it. The next thing they're going to do is hire me to show them how to do it. So say it with me. I'm going to show them what they need, why they need it. They're going to hire me to show them how to do it. All right. So the first thing you want to do when you have a potential client, you want to research them. So one of the ways that you can research a potential client is, one, you can look at the initiatives that they have set out for the current year and beyond through their strategy, which would be in their stakeholders report. You know, you got to get in kind of some in-depth research. It's not all about just what can I Google. You got to talk to people. LinkedIn is a very good resource. A lot of times it's not about, hey, I'm a consultant, you should hire me. It's, I'm looking at doing business with XYZ company. I noticed that you served on their board. Are there any tips, strategies, things you could give me? Here's what you have to understand. understand everybody has an ego. And when you ask for help, people feel that, hey, this is an opportunity for me to help and show who I am, you know, who I'm connected to. Yes, I can help you with that. Versus you trying to sell them something. Think about this. I don't know you. I don't know what you believe in. I don't know what the culture of your company is. And you just slid into my DM with a whole sales pitch. I'm immediately turned off. And I'm going to unfriend you, disconnect from you, because you did not take the time to get to know me. So you can't be so in a rush to close the sale. It's a process. The next thing you want to do is have a discovery call. Before you get dressed, before you get in your car, before you gas up, before you put on the dry cleaner that you just paid for, before you waste any money and time, you should have a list of questions that qualify your potential customer. So how do I do that? Well, think about who's the best client or customer you've ever had. And if you can duplicate them 100 times, you will continue to do business with them. They're your perfect client. Everything in your business should be built around that persona. That person is the person who actually needs what you have to offer. Now, once you have done your discovery, and yes, they are a qualified prospect, now it's time for you to connect in person. Now, we're all building global businesses. Say, I'm building a global business.
I'm building a global business.
One of the things that you should have, just in case this particular client is across country, overseas, you should have some type of video conferencing software that you can meet this client, potential client with. And during that time, right before you get on, you should have sent them at least 24 to 48 hours before an agenda of what you're going to discuss on that call or in that meeting. Why? Because now you look prepared. They kind of know what to expect. Because I've had a lot of people say, I only have 30 minutes, and it ended up being a 2-hour meeting. Why? Because I showed up ready. There's a method to success, and part of it is obedience. You have to take the time to show that you are qualified, not just because you're certified, not just because you have a professional license, because you listen well and you serve even better. The next thing you want to do is evaluate and educate, and you're going to do that in the meeting. So sometimes what I'll do, and I'll do it not only in the meeting, but pre and post the meeting. If there's something that I feel is relevant to the solution that I'm providing, I will email that to the potential client. Because I don't want them to feel as though this is a one-time sale. I want them to know I'm in it, I'm invested in it. I've taken my time, my resources to educate them. Because one, if they offer me the opportunity, I want to know that they know I'm worthy and the fee that I'm asking for is worth being paid. A lot of times we want to charge high fees, but the word doesn't represent the fee. The quality of the product doesn't represent the fee. So you got to be conscientious of that. Now, once you do that and you offer a qualified solution based on your research, based on the meeting that you have, now it's time to go to the close. Now, when you go to the close, let's just say, they say, I appreciate everything you've offered. I just don't feel that right now we're ready to do business with you. Don't say, okay, thank you, and walk away. Say, I can appreciate that right now may not be the perfect time, but what I'd like to know is, what is keeping you from saying yes? Did I not deliver the information as you expected? Was there something that I could have done better? Was there a point that I didn't touch on that you needed me to solve? There are so many different ways that you can spin this, because what could happen is maybe that's not the opportunity, but because you did such a great job, they may say, well, even though we're not prepared, there may be an opportunity over in marketing. I'd be happy to make the introduction for you. See, sometimes we get so defeated by the word no that we forget that there could be other opportunities within the same organization. I also want to tell you that if you're working within an organization, you should not stop at the person that gave you the contract. You should be asking them to advocate on your behalf. You should go at least 3 people down into that organization. Because if something happens to the existing contract that you have as a small business, that could close your doors if it's a significant contract. There are a lot of companies out here who are small, independent businesses. They get a giant company, that company's pumping millions of dollars, and then budgets change. New people come in. You know, every time a new person comes into that department, you have to reacclimate them. You have to get them to see your value all over again. So when you get to the close, that's not the last step. So now let's switch it. Let's say they say yes. I love it. We want you. Here's where the real work begins, because now you have to deliver on what you promised. The reason I really want to touch on this is because a lot of times we're so eager to get the business, our pricing should have been more. We didn't think about logistics, so we didn't add that into our pricing.